Okay, so here we are with day 2 of the Great South Waaagh. I am Joe, I'm joined by Simon.
Morning, everybody.
Yeah, very early. So mad that I'm up this early, but I get to talk about some Warhammer. We are currently looking at Table 1 of Round 4, so it is shifting objectives in Waaagh, darkly shaded, so we have 18 inches for spells and attacks. For this very first turn, the centre objective is important. Simon, do you want to go over the lists?
Yes, let's take a look.
We have so many things to talk about here.
2 new armies as well, which is interesting. So Tzeentch on the top table after it's been out for a month, 6 weeks maybe.
It's been a couple of weeks, yeah.
Yeah, nothing really.
Not a change host though, which is interesting.
Okay, so I will read out and then you can comment, Joe, as you see fit.
Yes.
So we're going the Change Coven of Host Arcanum. So what's that going to provide?
So the Host Arcanum. Every odd number of battle rounds, you can unbind a spell.
For free?
For free, yep.
Yep.
Their command ability is it lets their oh god, my brain's just completely gone. Screamers. It buffs the Screamers. It gives them an extra attack and an extra rend. The command trait on the General will be D3 models, D3 units can move 6 before the beginning of the game, and the Fanged Circle, which is the specific artifact, gives you a unit of 6 Screamers for free.
Perfect. So there's no battalion in this list, but as we'll see, there's a lot of endless spells, which I'm assuming is why they've gone for this host. So we have a Gaunt Summoner of Tzeentch, who's the general with the trait and the artifact we just talked about. We have another Gaunt Summoner of Tzeentch, who has got Bolt of Change. We have a third Gaunt Summoner on this one on a disc with Fold Reality. What does Fold Reality give us?
Fold Reality should be the getting to summon back a bunch of demons.
Perfect.
Basically, like, a lot of their stuff is just, I do mortal wounds on very certain things, but I would just double check, because, yep, on the top you can return slain models to a unit of demons.
And then we have a final Gaunt Summoner, again, on a disc, and this one's got Glimpse of the Future.
Glimpse of the Future, which I believe is stuff to do with Destiny dice. I'm not entirely sure what the Destiny dice we have going, but you can assume that we're looking for 1s and 6s. So,
okay.
Glimpse of the Future. Yeah, basically you pull extra Destiny dice.
Okay, and then the final leader is the Blue Scribes with Unchecked Mutation.
Yep, so the Blue Scribes have their weird spell ability that basically lets them auto-cast a spell on a 2.
Perfect, very Tzeentch. Then Battle Line, as you can probably guess from the host, it's 9 Screamers, 6 Screamers, 6 Screamers.
Yep.
And then we get to the the endless spells.
Here we go.
So we have Aethervold Pendulum, the Bellwing Vortex, Darkfire Demon Rift, Geminides, Purple Sun, Quicksilver, and finally the Gnashing Jaws.
Big one to look at here is for the Darkfire Demon Rift, which does D3 mortal wounds plus 1 for every wizard and endless spell within 12 of it. So it does a lot.
Perfect. And I believe the hidden agenda for this one is Center Ground.
Center Ground. So at the end of the game, hold the center objective. It's pretty simple. Heroes count as extra for that. A big thing about Matt's list is in his first turn, he is getting another unit of Screamers and 4 units of Pink Horrors. So just in Pink Horrors alone, that's an extra 200 wounds put onto the board just for bringing some Gaunt Summoners.
Cool. Okay, so Mike's list.
Yes.
Bonereapers. Can anybody guess the Legion?
Could it possibly be Chromatorium like he's painted them?
No, it's not.
Oh, cool.
It's clearly Petrifix Elite, which I assume is nearly every Bonereaper list in this haul today, but understandably so. So, leaders, Arcan the Black, I think pretty standard for every Bonereaper list.
Big casty boy.
He's got Cavalos as the general. So he's got the trait and the artifacts.
Yes, so these traits are, pretty sure, it is +2 wounds and ignores the first wound. I'm sure I've played against Petrifix a few times. Yeah, +2 wounds, and the first wound allocated in each phase is negated.
And what about the artifact then, the helm?
Oh no, it's a completely different one. Oh, that's on the, Godbone Armor's on the Bone Shaper. One moment, go through the list. I have no idea what that thing does. Oh, add 1 to hit. That's pretty good.
Add 1 to hit, okay.
For units holding within 12.
Oh, so let's look at that going on the 40 Martek Guard then, that make the first battle line. All spears and shields. So obviously making the most of the range that you get there.
Yep, the unit of 40 has the spears, and all of the 220s have the blades.
Blade and shield. We have 1 Behemoth, which is the Harvester.
Only 1 Harvester in Mike's list. Usually he runs 2, because he's a terrible person.
This is his friendly list then, yeah?
This is his, like, this is so fluffy, it's incredible. I'm so glad he's branched out for this. If I sound very mean towards Mike, it's because I love him very much.
And then the final part of Mike's list is the Bone-Type Shrieker.
Yeah, which will be a... That is the +1 to hit for units, for Bonereaper units targeting units within 12 of the Shrieker.
Perfect.
I'm sure that's a way that made sense.
And his objective, Dominate, which probably makes very good sense in shifting objectives.
Yeah. So he's just got to hold 2 more objectives than Matt does, which, given that it seems like Mike has taken the first turn, he can do pretty easily. So, Rinta Hero phase, Mike would have generated all of his... oh god, it has a name. Relentless Discipline. So their command ability. So all the points they get to spend on rerolling saves, adding extra rend, moving 7, or adding 3 to the movement. So it looks like we've got the Bone-Type Shrieker up, and a lot of movement to get into range of objectives.
Yeah, so that is the primary objective as well. So we'll be grabbing that first turn.
Yep.
And they're going to take some shifting.
Yes. If there's any unit that could outnumber 40 Mortek Guard and still keep on an objective, it's probably 10 Pink Horrors. It's probably the best way to deal with some horrors is, weirdly, not attack them.
Yeah, that'll work.
Within 6, usual objective rules.
To be fair, I'm assuming Tzeentch is a good matchup for this Bonereapers, because obviously Mortal Wounds are key to removing these. Yeah,
Mortal Wounds getting through the reroll with 3-up saves. Mike does have a little bit of unbinding with Arcan, but all of those Gaunt Summoners will have 2 spells.
Yeah. And a number of those endless spells are going to be generating Mortal Wounds as well, so they'll be hanging around. So obviously I wasn't here yesterday. How's Tzeentch been doing on the other tables? Is this one spectacular showing, or have we seen him popping around?
We've seen a few in and around, a few lists that I kind of look at and think like that's more generally what a list is. This Tzeentch list is a very weird one. Like I've never heard of, until yesterday, I'd never heard of like a huge Screamer group.
Yeah.
So it's actually really interesting. I actually played this list yesterday, that's why I know a few things about it. Mike also yesterday played one of the other Tzeentch lists, the kind of more typical list that I was talking about. That is a few tables down from us. yeah, it seems like it's going well for. Obviously, we're on top tables, but Tzeentch has a pretty good showing. Bonereapers as well, looking pretty good. They're also on table 2. Of course, Petrifex.
I think also table 5 as well. I think they're. I see.
Yep.
So yeah.
That is actually, I believe, that isn't Petrifex because that's got Catcross in it.
Oh, okay.
But having Catcross in a list means that all of that stuff is also going to be +1 save.
Perfect. I've not had the pleasure of Bonereapers yet, so it's something to look forward to. Yeah, so what we're doing here then, so Mike's just literally just moving everything straight up.
Yeah, very, very typical turn 1 for this kind of objective mission. Just keeping as many models as you want within 6. Trying to outnumber, but not giving easy charges is what you'd usually want to do. Given
we're playing Screamers, you're going to get charged here, I think, and you're just going to take the punch, I think.
Yeah, it's all about just committing now and grinding through. So the thing I think Mike's going to struggle with is because he has to stay on these objectives, the endless spells are going to have more of an effect because he's not going to be moving away as much. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of Arkan's casts being devoted to getting rid of endless spells.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot more defensive, definitely in this game.
Obviously, Matt's big play is just put horrors in front of all of the Mortex and
Mortal Wound them off, ideally.
If he thinks about it, I'm not entirely sure that this is the way he's going to go. Is using his own endless spells to split horrors up to get more and more units on the board.
Yeah, that's a nice idea. You see why you're such a filthy tournament player.
Oh yes, I've played so many tournaments.
Because our group is well known for our high achievement in tournaments. So clearly the City's book came out recently and they have a heavy endless spell list.
Yeah.
Are we thinking Tzeentch is probably a better version?
Tzeentch was always going to be the better casting list because that's how they do. In the previous books, Tzeentch was all about a hero phase for your damage. What we've seen with this new book is a bit more of a predominant shooting phase as well, which Cities is also kind of known for. There's a lot more variety in lists for Cities. I think that can make it difficult to kind of go up against. With Tzeentch, you kind of know what you're getting into, but if you don't have the right tools to deal with it, it can be a bit frustrating.
Yeah, I'm assuming anything like Deepkin Eels or Ogre Beast Riders are probably going to struggle against Tzeentch. They're going to have literally no magic at all in a lot of cases.
Yeah, it's going to be a case of like taking everything that the Tzeentch magic phase can give you, and then more than likely being outnumbered on objectives, especially if you're running like an Idneth Eels list. It is interesting we're talking about Idneth Eels, and we've got a bunch of manta rays on the board.
Yeah, we've got a sea life theme.
So here we go, we're into Matt's hero phase. We are doing the summoning. So it's going to be another unit of 6 Screamers, 4 units of 10 Pink Horrors, just for showing up, just for having a turn.
How many points does that equate to?
That is it's 800 for the Horrors, and I think about 160 for the Screamers.
That's just perfect.
Essentially what you're looking at is the Gaunt Summoners are about 40 to 60 points because of the free Horrors they get to bring in.
Yeah, well, as a Flesh Eaters player, I'm fully aware of how distressing it is when you summon in units, but it does make me happy, so I can see why he's going for this. A worried look already.
Definitely right to be worried, but Mike's done exactly what he needs to do to have a chance in this. There's not really any finesse plays that can happen with this.
No, it's a case of just grabbing it and just trying to grind this out now.
We're slowly ramping up as a bunch of models get put on the board for the many casts. So we've got the 4 Gaunt Summoners with 2 casts each. There's the Bellwind in there for another cast if you can get it off. Each of the Pink Horrors are also a wizard, but they can only cast a spell that benefits their shooting. So it's worth bearing in mind for as many endless spells Matt has in the list. Each of his wizards can only cast 1 endless spell per turn. So we're only going to see 4? 5 endless spells maybe?
Yeah, because that's not enough. Do the Screamers still have the attack where they fly over a unit?
Yep, they can fly over a unit doing mortal wounds, 1 mortal wound on a 5. If it's a wizard they do extra. So I'd anticipate Mike hiding Arkan, which I believe he is hiding, trying to put a barrier between himself with terrain and Mortek Guard.
And how does summoning work for Tzeentch? Is it within a certain distance of casters, or is it anywhere on the table?
So it would be within range of heroes. The summoning from the Pink Horror summoning is on the Gaunt Summoner's War Scroll. Their summoning mechanic is each spell that you cast, you start totaling up points, and then you can turn those points into prizes. I mean, more demons.
And is it like the Tzeentch book where you get points for the opponent's casting as well?
Yep. Any spell cast gets you a point. And because of the way that spells work, you don't necessarily have to have a target to cast a spell.
Oh, okay.
So you can pop off an arcane bolt, just for example, not have anyone in range.
And set fire to a tree.
It's set fire to a tree,
Perfect.
Still get that summoning point.
Be interested to see what Matt's got in his summoning box then. Lots of flamers.
Oh, that's So that was the Blue Scribes, I believe, failing their auto caster spell. It's on a 2-up, so it can happen. So I'd imagine the Blue Scribes would be going for their re-roll failed casting rolls. So a little bit less guarantee, but he's got enough stuff to throw at a wall.
Another fail.
First spell out the gate is another fail.
Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Apparently Tzeentch is rubbish at magic. More Paul Daniels than David Blaine, I think.
I'd expect a lot more mind freaking to occur out of this entire game. As Mike was pointing out, we do have one of the preeminent death casters in Arkan, and Tzeentch just existing, very good at spells.
Has Matt got any other casting other than Arkan?
That is a good question. I believe the Boneshaper is a wizard. All I've ever seen him do is stand next to Mortek Guard, so... yes, the Boneshaper is a wizard. The spell on him is the their nandrite weapons, instead of exploding on 6s, explode on 5s. So you get an extra hit.
Very nice.
Just tried to listen out for what spells are coming. It's pretty noisy. We've got a 40k tournament going on. We've got a couple of the vendors in here. A few historicals going on.
So Gemini is going
We've got the Geminids coming out.
Very careful placement.
So Mike leaving just a little bit of a gap. Unfortunately, Geminids just slipping in there. Massive, there's a huge range on the Geminids. I think longer than most endless spells are kind of reaching right now.
Small bases as well, so it is quite easy to just slip it into a little gap that you leave.
Yeah.
That 3 was it straight onto one? I was 3 onto the machine.
I believe what's hit the Mortar Guard and Arcan will be the light Geminid, which will be a -1 to hit for everything kind of sitting in that bubble. We hope it's the light Geminid, otherwise that's probably the most confusing paint scheme ever. Here we go. Here is the Darkfire Demon Rift. Everything's going to be bad now. Oh. So yeah, I'm sure this is about to get explained to Mike, who's going to look very sad in a moment. It's going to be great.
So it's a little preempt. What's about to break Mike into tears?
So Darkfire Demon Rift, again, D3 mortal wounds +1 for each wizard and endless spell within 12. So again, each of those pink horror units is a wizard. Mike already has his own endless spell out. Oh, Mike stops it though. So that's really good. Being quiet and trying to listen into what spells we got going on. We got Destiny Dice being spent, just so Mike has a very low chance of unbinding.
Yeah, I think Matt's been shaking a little bit about the unbinds.
Yeah.
He's probably just smashed everything through, I imagine, so far in the tournament. Now Archon's giving him a few problems.
Certainly very few armies that can contend with the amount of casts. Not impossible to contend with. If you want to run a bunch of corn dogs, a couple of bloodthirsters, get so many unbinds there. It's It's whether that has the punch to pull through a bunch of horrors is the issue.
Hello! 18 basic spell.
Yep.
Spell pool in the realm of shadows. We're in.
Yep.
You can place the spell pool anywhere on the table, which means place it anywhere on the table.
Within 18, it's just where you put the second.
Yeah, it's anywhere on the table.
Okay.
Hi, mate. So what else do we think would be good against Tzeentch then? Fire Slayers, potentially?
Anything with like a consistent mortal wound save is very good. Fire Slayers will kind of lack in the fact that they don't have that many unbinds, so they're going to be taking damage all the time.
So City's throwing some Rune Lords for their ogre spells on the 2s still?
Yeah, cities also have a lot of access to big, relatively cheap units. Shooting to kind of pick off the casters. I think that's going to be the main thing, is anything that... A lot of armies right now in AOS are kind of very...
Hero dependent?
Yeah, very hero dependent, like very dependent on all of the synergies and all of the...
So let's just treat him as a death army. They're trying to get into the back and kill his casters and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Easier said than done though.
Definitely, especially when you've got as many bodies, like you've got consistent screening. So I believe that's a spellcast to pick up and take some pink horror somewhere else. Worth pointing out that a lot of the realm spells, just having those extra options for all of your casters, it'd be very useful if I had a list of them in front of me, which I will certainly try and pull up, just to see if there's anything that we'd be looking at as potential. It's also entirely possible that, like we mentioned earlier, Matt will just cast spells for the sake of casting spells.
Okay, so the Screamer's moving up now then. Kind of breaking the lines.
So finally we are into the movement phase. As expected, as each hero phase is pretty long. Yeah, just have a look at some of the Olgu spells. There's a lot of useful ones in there, especially for debuffing. We've got some teleports, we've got 5-up DPR save, which is pretty nice. Obviously with us being darkly shaded, we've got 18 inches for spells, so a lot of the more offensive spells would have been out of range. So relying on those endless spells to reach out and touch some of my important units. Of course, there's always next turn after moving up to see if we can have the fabled double turn.
Very precise placement.
As much as it's very cool to see like a lot of Screamers, I cannot imagine playing that for 5 games, like having to move all those like huge models. I mean, if you look at the comparative base size to the actual footprint they take up.
So what's the offensive output on Screamers then? Would we expect them to do a significant amount of damage?
3 attacks each, 4s and 3s. No rend, which is going to be the big thing against Bonereapers. Obviously, he has that command point to give them extra attacks and rends. Having 1 rend against Bonereapers is obviously does increase your chances, but still re-rollable for us. What I think Matt is looking for is...
It looks like he's going to try and hit hard then.
Going into the characters, maybe looking for a double turn to fly over and get that mortal wound output. But yeah, I would expect targeting characters to be the focus and not really worrying too much if he loses them in return. More than likely he'll hold a couple units back, or
what do we know?
Or he'll just start moving everywhere. Mike proclaiming after a pretty tame magic phase that he doesn't care about mortal wounds. I think we'll see how this progresses.
we'll find that out a little later, probably. Not really an army you can just pick up and play then, is it? Tzeentch? It's going to be one that you need to get a lot of games in, I think. Learn the best combinations of the spells.
Yeah, there's a lot of like finesse to some of the base movements, some of the tricks you can do with pink horrors you don't pick up initially just by reading the War Scroll. It's definitely a book that's going to reward a lot of play with. It's also going to reward a lot of play against, because you're not going to have that surprise factor going in. Moving all of the Screamers up.
Very aggressive, because I think he's
hoping on that double turn.
Maybe slightly nervous.
Well, if you're committing this hard, there's got to be a sense of mortality that comes with pushing all of your models directly in front of an army. But I think he's going to look to tie up all of the Mortec Guard with units of horrors.
Yeah.
So maybe he's not actually risking too much pushing Screams up. I think it would be interesting to see if he does engage the unit with spears, given the chance to pile in going into closer units, being able to pick those Screamers and hold them there.
Do you have the order like trap cards?
Should be.
They're all used. Just two.
So while we're going through movement and heading into shooting, which don't know how effective each of these pink horror units is, having 30 shots, but it is no rend. So I don't know how effective that'll be. But while we're kind of waiting on rolling a lot of dice, I don't know if you've had a chance to have a look around at any of the other armies. Anything particularly shouting out to you?
I am liking Heroic Skaven. That's obviously one we come across a lot, and I'm not surprised to see him at the top table.
Yeah.
Slanesh still knocking around near the top on the second table. I've not had a chance to look at that. I'm not sure how many keepers he's got.
Mike Wilson, I believe, There's less keepers than you expect, many more seekers than you would expect.
Oh,
It's
that is a local player. Yes, I've
a
seen.
big unit of 20 seekers.
Yeah, but it seems to be a really good mix of armies, to be honest. Because we've got Beast Claws up at the top as well, which is good to see. And obviously, dirty 3 first to call list, which is always at the top of our tournaments. I have been impressed with the turnout, though, considering this time last year, I think we did the first tournament and we had like 8 players.
Yeah. Massive improvement locally. I think a lot of that kind of comes down to
Tim's relentless Facebook posts.
That's all on Tim for the past 6 months. I'm sorry if you've been in any Age of Sigmar Facebook groups and getting this thrust in your face. It's been great to just kind of see what we can kind of have as this community local, what we can kind of grow with. We've got quite a bit of space, and I would hope that we could maybe push into a few more tables next year.
Yeah, I think we can definitely go bigger next year.
Just quickly going back to the list, I want to send a huge shout out to the only Daughters of Cain player here, playing a list very close to my heart, which is Calebron Temple Nest with Gotrek Gurnason, the man himself. It is my favourite list. It's so good.
I'm really surprised there's only one Daughters list.
Yeah, it's actually interesting. We've seen a kind of a drop-off with Daughters. CanCon very recently only had one Daughters list, and that was also a all Snake Army, or predominantly Snake Army.
See, now that's a player that just loves playing Daughters.
Yes.
If they're going all Snakes.
It's the best way to play. The best flavour of Daughters is all Snakes.
Yeah, I do prefer a theme list. Do we have a breakdown of what's actually here?
That is a very interesting question. I'm sure there was a post earlier up by Tim.
Let's see if we can track that down, because I'd be interested to see what we've got here.
I think it is. I think some of the big stats are obviously all of the Petrifex Elite. All the Bonereapers are Petrifex Elite. What else have we got? Aside from our one standout with Catacross. Let's see if we can actually find a list breakdown.
Let me see if we can track one down. You make some small talk. Just a second.
Hold down the fort.
Hold down the fort.
So, as expected, the Tzeentch shooting phase, piling in, rolling a lot of dice. It's about 120 shots coming in from a combined might of Pink Horrors. Probably not doing all that much. I will grab them to see if anything actually died from the shooting phase.
Tim's a little tied up at the moment, just absolutely smashing the facing of some ogres. So
yes,
I don't think that's going to last too much longer. So we may get a list
Tim
later.
running the TO, the spare army, just to give someone a game in case there's odd players. Running around with 3 Bloodthirsters. I was playing it yesterday. It's a very fun list. I don't know if it was on air, but yeah, first time as a Khorne player of 3 years. First time putting Bloodthirsters on the table.
And I've now bought 4.
Well, I'm buying 4. I own 2 right now.
Yeah, Bloodthirster's just ran into a stone horn and done 15 damage, I believe. So
there is the big exalted Forge World Bloodthirster. So again, very fun model to push around.
Yeah. So we're still in the shooting phase, are we?
Yep. A lot of shots to get through and a lot of rolling dice.
A lot of saves made from the looks of it as well. Has there been any significant damage so far. It doesn't look like it really.
I think any from the big unit were put back by the crawler, and I think the sum total of the Tzeentch shooting phase was 2 more tech guard, which is frankly more than I expected.
Looks like he's got the charge off to get right through the back lines though, so this is going to be a problem.
Using the Destiny dice to guarantee that charge into the Mortec crawler. Not the Mortec crawler, it's entirely different. The Gothazar Harvester. That's the name of the thing.
That little gap, I think, might have been a problem. And Matt's looking a little bit sad.
Mike gesturing of how he should have deployed. Always learning, he says. And I had to expect if the Destiny dice were spent to guarantee that charge, I believe
there's a 12 as well.
I believe the command ability has been spent on at least one of these units of Screamers. It's a 12-inch charge going to Arkham as well.
I do love the Destiny dice mechanic. It's really themey to the Tzeentch army.
Now that they fixed it in the FAQ,
yes,
we can go back to not complaining about those dark times. But yes, it certainly makes sense for the changes of ways. I'm surprised there is no. I'm surprised there's no riddle mechanics. You have to get your opponent to answer a riddle to kill any of your models.
They did try some stuff like that in the first edition, and it caused a lot of upset, if I remember correctly.
They did. Oh, I do remember those days.
It wasn't easy to get a game of Age of Sigmar, but thankfully that's not a problem anymore.
Pushing 100 grots around, always having to wear a hood to get benefits.
They tried to make it fun, we just didn't like it.
There's one thing you've got to know, is gamers hate fun.
Yeah, we like maths, percentages. So, any more charging, or are we just going to...
I wouldn't be surprised in seeing some horrors go in.
I think it's just confirming what you can expect if he charges in there.
Yeah, the Mortec on what would be the left side of your screen. Mike just confirming that they are hitting on 2s, exploding on 6s, wounding on 4s, with the potential of -2 rend. So I've had a charge roll, Matt deciding if that's enough.
Yeah, it's definitely not sure if he wants to commit to this here, I don't think.
I think a lot of people would kind of say that going in with the splitting and generating extra models to take the objectives is usually what you'd go for, but I think what Matt's worried about is losing too many pink horrors and being away from ignoring the battle shock. You can mitigate it slightly with Destiny dice, but there is the potential for him to lose a lot of what he's putting back down.
Yeah, what he's weighed up is definitely he's decided he's going to go to that big unit in the centre, which is obviously the primary objective as well at the moment.
also by charging into the side, he's kind of mitigating what Tech Guard can pile back into the Screamers. And we've got a plucky unit of blues going into the front as well. Or not. Maybe.
So was that a failed charge then? Yeah?
I believe so. I think Matt getting a bit optimistic about some charge rolls. More horrors charging in. This is, and again using those big charges to block the amount of retribution the more Tech Guard can put to Screamers, as well as just crowding around things and being there. That's about what you can.
Yeah.
That's about what you can hope for horrors. Is just they are there. Removing the pillar of the most ridiculously sized compulsory piece of terrain.
Obviously, going to have to give some thought on his priority now. So, where would you be going with your attacks?
Assuming we've got the command ability up on one of those units of Screamers, I would expect Matt to go into the Harvester. The Harvester can kick out a lot of damage, and if he can get into it quickly, just to pull it down. This turn, he's not really going to be getting the biggest benefit of pulling away the 4-up saves, but in the future, when he's going to be casting spells at that big unit, he's going to want to have the Harvester removed. And I think popping that in first. Arkan, maybe you might go into. He's a bit swingy. Arkan is not usually someone you want in combat, but
No.
If
I think we can tell that by Matt's face.
if the dice are rolled, then Arkan could
damage.
punk out a few Screamers, but
So he's moving into the unit on the right flank as well. So this is going to be a big turn, I think. First turn as well.
first turn, yeah. It's always the problem of having to play the game directly in the middle and taking that first turn. Yes, you want to get up on the objectives and try to attrition it out, but you often leave yourself up to charges, and especially with how fast this Tzeentch list is.
Yeah, with fly as well, obviously you can just go straight into the back lines. I do really like the scenario though, it is one of the more fun ones.
Yeah.
It does force combat.
I enjoy any scenario that forces combat and has a slightly random element. Like you can always make the decision to choose two objectives to go for and kind of split or attempt to split your forces or really focus in, and it comes down to luck of dice and whether you can have that attrition. Like going through the negative rend command ability.
I think so, the unit on the right hand side of the screen is up by 3 attacks. I think he was just saying.
Yeah. That sounds about right, I think. think Mike kind of committing to holding as many objectives as he can, using the fact that Matt's gone in with so many different units, using that to pick where he's going to play for objectives. So buffing up the rightmost unit as much as possible just to deal with what he can to ensure that he has that objective. I would expect a lot of attacks going on Screamers rather than Horrors, but I'm not sure he'll have that much of a choice for where he has to pile in. Just trying to get a look at where a lot of Mike's characters are. He's only got 3, so it's Arcan in the centre, the Leech Cavalos, I believe, in the right, and then the Mortazan Bone Shaper right behind the 20 on the left. And obviously, like we were saying, Matt choosing to pile in with those Screamers at the top, going into trying to put as many attacks into the Harvester, and maybe getting greedy and maybe going for Arcan as well.
I think we've got 6 in there.
I think that's the unit 9.
There's 6,
Yeah.
I think it's here, there's 6.
So the problem of always hitting on 4s. I'll pass that on to Tim.
They borrowed dice.
Only putting the Harvester down to 5 wounds, I believe. Matt getting very, very unlucky.
Yeah, that was a real poor to hit roll. So he's going to go with the buffed up unit.
Yep. Mike's saying everything else is kind of safe and he's not that worried about Arcan, which I think we'll see how that goes. It's worth saying that Arcan's a lot of Arcan's casting goes down when he's injured. So I'm curious to see if we can get another repeat of Matt rolling bad, or whether we'll actually see some damage going.
Twos to hit, yeah.
2s to hit with the Leech Cavalos' item. It's going to be exploding on 6s, which is always fun.
Do I fight on my worst stat line? So when you die, you can pile in and tap with all your weapons.
Yeah, part of it. That's 7 or 8 wounds on the Screamers.
Yeah, that was 7, just went straight through.
And the majority of attacks going into Big Flamers. We've got Matt preparing to pull a bunch of blues and brimstones out. interesting thing about these Tzeentch lists is it's so dependent on having these extra models. I wonder, I would actually like to ask Matt to see just how many blues he is prepared to put on the board.
It is an army to commit to. Work out your 2,000 point list and then add another 1,000 onto this. What do we think about the Acolyte list then? Is that playable for Tzeentch, or is it demons that are the way to go? Because the Acolyte models are some of the coolest, I would say.
I absolutely love the Acolyte models. I will be honest, I haven't heard too much about them, and I think that kind of speaks...
That's an indication?
I'm not entirely sure whether it's because they aren't good. It may just be a case of they're not as good as the change hosts we're seeing. I definitely think if you want to... For stuff like painting projects, for like making interesting armies, it's very easy to do really cool schemes on those models. I've looked at stuff like the Kyrek Acolytes for Khorne, for Marauder conversions. Like I like those models a lot. But yeah, I think it is an element of there is a clear standout in the book.
Yeah.
Much like Petrifex, to be honest. Although we've seen a few different of the change hosts. It's not change hosts, it's the Covens, isn't it? Like a few variations. We've got some Duplicitous. We've got this strange Seacorn that I've never heard of, and then I'm sure it has a name, but it's the shooty one.
The shooty one. Just glancing around some of the other tables, it looks like there's a lot of dead Skaven over on the Deepkin Skaven match on table 3.
Yeah. Looking over, I believe with the amount of Skaven that we just removed, that would probably be the Deepkin turn 3.
Yeah, there's still a lot of healers on there. I think that might be deeply in the ascendancy there. I don't. There's still stone themes on there, so.
I mean, it's a benefit to Henrik that he's still probably, even though he's got half his army taken off, he's still outnumbering them quite heavily.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. Yeah, I think Beast Claws have just been taken off by Khorne as well. Fairly rapidly.
It's not too terribly surprising. It's both very combat-y armies kind of feeding into what we're talking about with how the objectives line up.
Yeah, I think with the Beast Claws as well, obviously not really any screen. So not really any way to keep those bloodthirsters out. And if you get hit, then
it's a big benefit of the Khorne list to be 90% screen and then 3 bloodthirsters.
Yeah. And obviously the fly letting you get anywhere. Yeah, we've noticed it's turn 1. We're struggling now. Come on, lads. Chop chop.
This game's finishing over here. I think we fully expected to have a lengthy first few turns.
There's a lot to do in the hero phases for both of these armies, so it's never going to be a quick one.
This is also a game where I think
we're getting more dice complaints.
Matt really not a fan of these dice. I think this is a game where you may be worried about going to turn or not being able to finish the full game.
Yeah.
With the resilience of both of the armies and the stacked magic phase, hero phase, that unless someone really pulls ahead, it's going to be a conversation of what do we do at the end of the game as we're approaching time, which we have now been playing for an hour and 20 minutes.
An hour and 20 minutes, and we're still in combat, turn 1. We were in the game's 2.5 hours, are they, on this?
2 and 3/4 hours.
2 and 3/4 hours.
I would just double check that. Sorry. I say I'm helping the TO out. I know very little about this tournament.
Yeah, I got roped into commentating on Friday afternoon, so we'll make this up as we go along.
So yeah, we're about halfway through the games now. Like we say, we've got a few examples of games finishing up or looking very close to finishing, but still plenty going on. So a tale of two very different armies, resilient in different ways. We're seeing a lot of Tzeentch models being pulled off, but making it so he is outnumbered. Not pulling the Harvester off, I think, and that's just on bad dice is a big blow to Matt.
Yeah, I thought, to be honest, when they went through the gap, I thought Matt was in a real strong position, but he's been badly hit by those dice rolls. So, yeah, how much of a punch can Tzeentch take? Probably not a great deal, I wouldn't imagine, so we'll see how this goes.
It's very deceptive, that the pink units, that's 50 wounds right there.
I think Matt's trying to avoid them as much as possible.
That's definitely the play, especially if you're already outnumbering and taking the objective, doing as little damage to them as possible.
Yeah, let's just leave them sat there as 10.
Yeah.
Let's not worry about that.
Focusing on the Screamers who have that ability to fly over and do mortal wounds. They can retreat and do that, so definitely want to pull them out while they're stuck.
So that's a re-roll save, yeah?
Yep.
So again, lost nothing.
Yep, that's how a Bonereaper do. It is a resource being spent to reroll all of those saves, but I think a resource that Mike's been very good at to not overcommit on. We did see a big commit on a few of them to buff the far right unit up, but I'm not just looking at it. I think has made sure that he is not losing that objective. But there's a lot of other engagements that he could be spending the points on that he's not, because frankly the combat punch of Tzeentch isn't particularly there, and he's going to be outnumbering them wherever.
So we're thinking he's just going to buff his saves and try and sit there for another hour and a half, hitting as few pink horrors as possible.
That would definitely be the plan, like pulling Screamers off whenever you can. With being pinned here, it does mean that Mike doesn't have the reach to jump out and attack any of those heroes, which is where a lot of the big punch, or the punch that Mike's going to be worried about, is coming from. He can take shooting phases all day, he can take combat phases all day. It's going to be interesting to see.
I think Arca's taken a lot of Screamers off there as well.
Yeah, they're big punchy boys. It's going to be interesting to see how Matt recovers from having a pretty
dire combat phase.
Pretty poor combat phase, relatively tame hero phase. A lot of that could have been the targeting restrictions from Darkly Shaded, but now that we're kind of looking at a bit of a closer engagement, it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to take this turn, as it always is. I think we're now into the part of the combat phase where all of the important stuff is fought, and we're just sorting out the necessary parts.
There's the horrors going in. See if we can kill one this time.
I wouldn't bet on them killing any. Interestingly, the horror specific spell that gives them the +1 to hit benefits their shooting and also their combat for reasons, I suppose. 4 saves for Mike. Can he fail any of them? He's dabbed, which means he has failed none of them.
Even I'm slightly annoyed by him.
the universal sign of not failing any saves. We're now down to the big unit of 40 with the spears. Mike making the smart decision not to do any piling in to reduce as many attacks as he has on those pink horrors.
So it's a rare occasion where we're aiming to roll as badly as possible.
Yep. But the one thing I think will be hurting Mike is he does have spears on them, so it's another rank of attacks, with the Mortec being on those 25mm bases. But yeah, just hoping. I'm surprised he hasn't gone and taken Matt's dice. Oh, I've got a few 6s. And Matt preparing.
Confidently produced a large box of blue horrors. He's looking happy for the first time in the combat phase. And a small swear.
Cursing from Mike, I think he's rolled pretty well. Matt will now be relying on those dice to roll as few 6s as possible.
So another 11 wounds to roll.
Saved one, so now we've got the
demon save, is it? Huh? Did we get the demon save?
Yeah, so they have a DPR save. It's something to do with like unknowable elasticity. That I'm sure people can say that word.
Yeah, probably. Not at this time on a Sunday.
It's too early for me to be talking.
So I believe that's 8 that have gone down.
8, so that's 8 on the right side, so that's 16 more models put into the unit.
Fairly happy, I think. Probably take that.
Yeah. With the placing the blues back in, he can't bring any new models or any enemy units within 3. So does have to obey those rules, but he places the blues within one of the horror that died, so that does kind of restrict.
Oh, so that's why he's taking them there from the right then, yeah? He's giving himself a little bit more room to...
Does restrict where he can place them, but the objective being 6 inches, I think we'll see. I think we may see Tzeentch take the important objective. We've still got the attacks to go into the unit on the left. Interestingly, by putting the Geminids into the Mortek Guard, he's limiting the amount of models he can pull back, but it seemed like Claude really well through that, so... Just dealing with the rest of the guard attacks into the other unit of Pink Horrors now.
How much more combat is there now in this search? Surely we get to the end. Tim's here, Tim's finished.
Sure, we're nearly there, yeah. Tim finished with his game.
Yeah, it's all over.
I mean, it's Ogres versus Khorne, so
it's always going to be a quick game.
They do everything better than Khorne at what Khorne's meant to do that. He just got unlucky. They got the double turn, and I was like, well, both Stoning is dead, and then everything else is dead.
the old double turn.
Well, the Ethereum and Stonehorn failed to armor saves against Insensate Rage, and it's like...
Sounds like my Stonehorn.
I'm going to quickly put the kill points into there. Actually, I'll work out how many kills. Everyone else is barely started, right?
Yeah, we're still on turn 1.
Still on turn 1.
Still on turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it a bit, like it's two armies that take a long time to play.
Yeah. Whereas our army's one in a battle plan that was 3 objectives across the middle. We're going to do forward. Well, I'll put my screen there, and then hope I get double turn.
Tactics, that Tim. Tactics.
He killed all my screens. Well, I won the priority turn to let him have priority, and then he killed all my screens, and then I killed some stuff, and then I got the double and I killed some more stuff.
So what did he have then? 2 Stones Horns,
2 Stone Horns, 8 Iron Guts, or 12 Iron Guts, but they all died by the time the Iron Guts. Lead Belchers, they're not Lead Belchers, are they?
Yeah.
Lead Belchers.
Bit mixed then, nice mixed army.
A couple of Slaughter Masters.
I'm sure I'm on record of saying it, but I do love the Ogre book. I think it's one of the best written books.
You can play a lot. You get a lot of games out of it.
Yeah. It's a very cool book. I almost wish it wasn't quite as prevalent locally. Otherwise, I'd be playing it.
Yeah.
I've already run.
It's very popular locally.
I've run into that problem with playing Khorne, of having so many people.
Yeah, for the first 6 months of my AOS career, I only ever played Khorne. Maybe a little side inside.
I didn't need to do that, did I? Just made the screen disappear. What I need to do is...
So we've got a lot more Blue Horrors.
A lot
coming back on.
Many Blue Horrors. Once again, this Battleshot phase is going to be interesting. There's a lot of pinks that have come off. Looking at the dice, we do have a few ones in there. Just having a quick look. One of the pink horrors, or one of the horror units in the unit of 40, still has their banner. Gonna try and get.
Are they the red dice with Destiny dice? Yeah.
Yes.
So we've got 3 1s and 2 2s. So
that's pretty good.
That's going
both of the banners in the 40 unit are alive. So that's the 2 icons that on a 1 you get D6 models back.
Perfect.
And you don't. If you take the 1, you don't lose any models.
So I don't think we need to worry about the battle shot then. And that's probably going to be enough to grab that middle objective.
That will absolutely be enough. And again, we're in the phase of the game where it's just doing things because we have to. Pink horrors going against Mortek guards. Or blue horrors rather. Mostly blue horrors. A mixture.
A rainbow of horrors.
Taking 2 people this weekend.
That's why we don't let you play new people, Tim. That's because you bring that list when we've got new
I felt
people
really
in the
bad
group.
for the other guy. And to be fair, he just got unlucky when I double turned him and all my 3 bloodthirsters were next to the gash, and it's like, oh, you're fucked. To be fair, I think I'd struggle to take down 10 more tech guard normally.
Tim is taking on the role of tubbing baby seals at this point.
Andy's first game up on the club with his glue spike. I even forgot to do half my stuff and still beat him 28-2.
Again, that's why Tim does not outplay the new players in the group.
Tim may be the taskmaster of AOS down here, but he's not exactly the.
I self-imposed not running more pilgrims and tyrants after I beat Simon
Sorry, we can talk as much shit about Tim as we want. He is kind of the reason we're all here.
Nah, it's because you guys all come over, you already played, it's just making people socialise. It's literally making people socialise. We go put our trophies up there because they look better next to the 40k ones.
Have you had a look around to see what other games are going on?
What, other than AOS?
No.
I'm going to have a quick look now.
In AOS. Cool.
Tim, go do a scout and tell us your thoughts, mate.
Yeah, tell us all the interesting things. What I want to know is, what has Gotrek killed? We've got two Gotreks at the event. One in the Temple Nest list we talked about earlier. One in Seraphon with 3 engines of the gods.
Scores it?
On the app.
Yeah, for the kill points.
Yeah, brilliant. Just hand them off to us.
Yeah, don't you have like a spreadsheet for killing and stuff?
Yeah, just need you to write them down. Using something. I'm sure. Yep, use the orders. Yep, and if you just want to write on the back of that one, get the kill points.
Cool, nice one, cheers.
Yeah, thanks.
Bit of admin from the commentary. You don't get that much, Dave.
So that's another game finish while we're still on turn 1 here.
So how many turns do you think we're going to get through here? 2?
I think
Because not a lot's died.
no. I think 2 is going to be a good estimate, because nothing that's going to slow the game, nothing that's going to speed the game up has really happened.
No,
we've still got
we've got all those spellcasters. We've still got as many more models than we started with.
The round finishes at. I had this whole thing up and I was so prepared. 11:45.
11:45 minutes now.
And that's enough. Thanks, guys.
Is that except that table and kill points? How many points of models I've killed with this? Yeah. Oh, you look really confused.
So that's how many? So
I've killed 240 points of his army. And he's
on the
killed.
back of 9.
oh, 120. Right. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
That's the father who's
Day
confusing me.
2 is happening.
Thank you so much. I'm going to be smart and I'm going to leave this here and remember that
And not destroy the feed.
not completely ruin technology.
No.
I am want to do that. But yeah, I think that this game is going to be long, but we're not going to get through many turns, and I think we're going to see how Mike and Matt are going to deal with that in terms of scoring and secondaries.
Arm wrestle.
I think that's the only fair.
Yeah.
I think that's the only fair way to determine. Mike is going to be up on points because he will have claimed all 3.
Yeah, it's going to be 5-3 at the end of this turn.
Matt's taken 2 of them back.
Has Matt got enough around the second objective?
So we've got the middle one,
Yeah.
which he. It's actually going to be interesting to see where the count is. It's probably got just enough on the right objective and then nothing on the left.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think the right one might be close, so we'll have to see what that counts up to. It's hard to see from here
We,
on our tiny laptop screen.
if in the centre objective he's not got enough within 6, it's going to be interesting to see when the battle shot kicks in. And I think we've seen the battle shot come in. Yeah, we've seen the battle shot come in. Okay, so the objective that Matt has very little on is where the important one is. Just guys, what's the score? Okay, so yeah, one model off claiming the centre objective.
Now,
So we're looking at 5-0. Here is
okay, and Bonereapers win priority with a 6 just for ironic.
Matt rolling a 1 on the priority.
And he's clearly going to take first turn.
Yeah. Just
Feeling fairly confident from this position, I think.
just to score up. He'll be happy to take. He'll be happy to take the damage from the Geminids that are sitting there. What I think Mike would ideally like to do, that I don't think he can, because there's just so many models around him. I think he'd love to retreat out of combat and retain all of these objectives. The centermost objective, he cannot. There is no way of retreating and staying 3 away with all of that stuff. But yeah, Mike was saying there was one. He only took the centre objective by 1. That's definitely going to change in this turn when he kills any number of models.
Yeah, and I don't think there was a single kill out of that unit out of the middle.
Would not surprise me.
Against the Bonereapers, which is
I think the only models he's lost is from the Germanids earlier, and he lost 2 from shooting. That's about it.
more results coming in. Game's starting to finish.
We think we were both playing order, so that's our hero slips.
Yep.
I got a major win and my hidden objective, and you got your hidden objective. So 18-2.
So 18-2. Yeah. Put that in the app. Yep.
Yeah.
Have you got?
I scored hidden agenda dominate.
Yeah.
And he scored his win in invade, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
And then you've got kill points on the back. Thank you very much.
So I'll put it in the app. Do you know your pin?
1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So
That's how we say that.
18-2 because you both got secondaries.
It was just the way the shifting objectives and not playing my prime properly at that point where I should have.
Chances you got trick with your prime, whereas you should have chances.
Oh, you're one of the Gotchick players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My one's had the blue ring, so it fits in with that. The only reason I'm playing him is because I didn't get a quarter of my army painted in time.
Yep.
So you thought I'll put 800 points in.
How much time for the next game?
We literally just discussed this. Yeah.
Game 5, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. So what time we got back?
It's quarter to 11.
So we got like
2 hours.
2 hours.
Should we just leave our stuff left now?
Yeah. Paint judging's already done, so you don't need to display it. But yeah.
Was the paint judging today or was that done yesterday?
Paint judging was done yesterday.
Did you take a look at anything or?
I did. I actually really like. So we've got Matt's Tzeentch army on the table now. Is just very vibrant, very colourful, like some nice airbrush blending. I'm not exactly a paint aficionado.
Neither am I.
I-
Where's the contrast?
Yeah, I know when I like armies. Again, we've got the Idneth just down here. It's a very, very nice scheme. Like, eels are just pretty models in general.
I'm assuming Dave's Death Army must be.
Yep, Dave's always going to be a contender. Just trying to have a think. What else was it? There's some of the ogre armies. There are some very, very nice ogres. Tim coming back.
Well, one Gottschalk has killed an entire army, but they've lost the game because they're too slow. They're little dwarves, aren't they?
Yeah.
And
we've just had
David found out it takes 40 Hearthguard to kill 10 pink horrors. Well, 10 horrors.
Yep.
And but he did win the game, so
Yeah.
that's quite surprising. But it does take 40 Hearthguard to kill 10 horrors.
Yeah. It took 5 piles in with 3 bloodthirsters to kill 10 horrors.
That's quite funny.
You'll be pleased to know we're now just starting turn 2.
Huh?
Just starting turn 2.
Just starting turn 2.
5-0 to the
What have we got?
Bonereapers.
We got an hour. I'll go around and let everyone know there's an hour left.
I do think with Mike winning that turn and how long these turns are taking, I think that's going to be.
Yeah.
I think that may be a decider.
Yeah, I think I don't see how Tzeentch is going to be able to take enough stuff off the objectives to get this.
So we know Mike's getting 3 points for sure this turn. He's going to lose the centre one. The top one, depending on how he fluffs his attacks, if he can roll bad, if he pulls out with that, I think that would be the play. Yeah, I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see Bonereapers go up. What phase we're in. This might be some hero phase stuff. This might be Arcan machine gunning some arcane bolts. Yeah, just confirmed. We're in Bonereaper hero phase. Looking to cast as many buffs on the centre unit as possible to see if he can just grind through the units of horrors. He's guaranteed to have to stand that, so you might as well put as much damage in as you can.
How's it going?
It's going all right. It's been a bit of
People
a
come over their kill point scores.
few.
Yes, got a couple results.
I'll upload it to it, like I said, if we've got these. I can get the others in the scope.
Kill points to do. We've done a score on the app already.
Sweet.
Ben and Anthony. I killed 1460.
Oh yeah, if we stick the
got
slips
them
down, then I can do it in between.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll make it happen.
Either of you order as well.
Yeah, I am.
Sweet.
So I got 590.
The order board's quite depressing at that now. I'll start filling out in a bit. that got both on there, is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
If you can write down on one of the back of the order slips.
Yeah, I'll just take that piece of paper.
Okay, can I borrow a pen? It's pretty easy.
2,000.
2,000 to nothing.
Hopefully we get some quick players on table one.
It's been a grind.
They're both being like as quick as they can be. There's obviously a lot of decisions being on top
it's
table.
Slow armies, isn't it? So if you get Bonereapers and a load of horrors, it's not going to happen quickly.
Yeah.
Bags up.
Oh shit, sorry.
And then it's lunch bait.
When's the next one start?
1 o'clock, I think.
1 o'clock.
Yeah. There we go. Going 5. 1 o'clock.
Really enjoy the game. Lovely, I think it's
So we're into Bonereaper movement phase.
Simon using his brains. Googling stuff.
I think Mike's either looking to defend that objective as well as he can, or push into horrors in the centre. I think either are options.
We're in the shooting phase now. Should be a relatively short phase for this game. There's not a lot of shooting in the Bonereapers.
The Harvester's got attacked. Interestingly, I think the unit on the right has decided to stay in combat. Shooting the Harvester, pulling up a screamer. I think not retreating on the right is maybe a mistake. We'll see how much damage he can kick into those horrors. They are missing the banner, so
Yeah, risky battle shot.
there'll be some battle shot going in. Using the ability on the Mortec Shield Corps Battalion to get that free expenditure of the Relentless Discipline for a shield wall. And just using the shield wall on the right to hold that objective.
So I guess is that 2 up save, is it?
3 up.
3 up save, sorry.
3 up reroll.
3 up rerollable, so they're going on.
Yeah, everything has a 3 up save. So you haven't played Bonereapers and Tzeentch.
No.
How much are you enjoying the way this game has gone?
I have to admit, it's not the most exciting. It's
We'll
a
try
war
and
of
put someone
attrition.
exciting on for the last game.
Yeah, if someone
Right,
can sort out a little bit of...
Bonereapers and Tzeentch are relegated to bottom table when no one can see them play.
Yeah, no one wants to watch this.
I'm always interested in like how these kind of armies like present to a new player. Is it just you see the power, but it's not?
I think Tzeentch appeals more as a player just because there's a little bit more with the magic and the finesse.
Colour.
I like colour.
Yeah.
Bonereapers they're a grinding death army, aren't they? They'll do what they want to do, so yeah, not my thing, but if you're into death, I can see what...
Because we're old, Simon, we don't like things that are new. Bonereapers are new? Nah, I don't know that.
Bonereapers are a new kids army.
New kids are, yeah.
Where are my lizard men?
Wait, come in, mate.
Seraphon. I'm so excited. I have the
There is
whole
Seraphon
army.
here today with Gotrek.
Yeah.
And 4 engines in
We
the
were
god.
just talking about that, yeah.
Walk around, shoot some stuff.
You've already got a lizard men army there?
Yeah.
On round bases or square bases?
That's the only thing. I need to put them onto round bases.
After doing 55 bloodletters, I've got the knack of it now.
You've got like the...
Well, they're all missing
twist.
toes now. Not the twist, that is like a heathen, mate. You heathen. You cut the corners in,
Yeah.
and then you trim the edges,
Yep.
and then you just put the thing on top of your round base, and then you put texture paint over the top. But yes, I did try the old twist, and most of my bloodletters are missing toes. But, you know.
I am very excited to, in the summer, bit of white spray, contrast, have Lizardman done, or Seraphon done in a week.
My Seraphon aren't actually mine, they're Mel, so they might get painted in like 2 years, and she spends about 6 months on every model. But that is the benefit of owning a girlfriend who paints armies and doesn't play. I get extra armies. Get recruited, trade yours in. Should be like Tim's missus paints extra armies.
If you loved me,
If you love me.
if you loved me, you'd paint my tree men. So
That's about all I've like within the hobby. That's all I've learned in heteronormative relationships.
It looks very heavy Tzeentch over on table 2. Tzeentch are doing rather well.
What's the Tzeentch? What they're playing over there? Is that Bonereapers as well?
more Bonereapers.
So we're thinking.
Yeah, Tzeentch versus Bonereapers, but
So I
Tzeentch have done awfully well.
In the initial draw, we had Mike and Mike, Tzeentch versus Bonereapers.
Yeah.
Had to rejig because of a couple of dropouts. I think we might have to see
And then we had
Mike and
Tzeentch
Mike
versus
on
Bonereapers
table
anyway.
1.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if Mike wins this, then it'll be Mike and Mike.
Yeah.
If Mike and Mike win. At least, like, Tzeentch are a bit more dynamic. Stuff happens.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of movement in Tzeentch. It'll be a lot quicker.
Or Dan Arnold chasing it back up. Oh yeah, because these guys will be. Out of these 4 players, they're the only ones that are 3-0.
Yeah.
The odd number backup army is cruising up to the top.
The backup army cannot win the tournament.
3-1. That's right, because James has got the second backup army, and they will definitely lose.
You're so harsh here. What is the second backup army out of interest?
Ogres.
Ogres.
But they did have ogres v ogres, and then James was like, his ogres are better than mine. He's got 2 Stonehorns. Gary Stonehorn went in, did 40 damage, and then James cried a little bit.
Yeah.
Placings. This is at the top at the moment. It won't be for long.
So we're just grinding through the combat on that middle objective again.
Right, let's go.
It's going to be a much shorter turn because we've not got the casting and the shooting on the Bonereaper side, but yeah, a lot of fighting and rolling dice.
Yeah. So Elizabeth, your next army then, yeah? You said we corn and then going on to Seraphon?
It's going to be corn or beasts. It's going to be Seraphon or beasts.
Yeah. Beasts would be nice to see.
I'm very excited about Beasts of Chaos.
Is there a single beast player here today?
No, there's not a single beast player now.
There's none locally, which is why I'm kind of erring more towards them, depending how popular Seraphon get.
Seraphon will be massive, and everyone will be all over that. And then everyone will be playing the New Elves army.
No, they're not for me. Fiddly models, detailed models.
I was so excited.
Andy will be all over them.
Do not take my opinion as gospel, but I was so excited about elves. Like, I'm a high elf player from fantasy, and then I saw Teclis, and I have no interest in doing the army.
Yeah. What, Mr. Bollywood trousers, and it looks like something from Bollywood.
Controversial, gentlemen. Controversial.
I'm sure Bollywood Army.
I'm
mate.
sure
I would do a Bollywood Army, but not for high elves.
I'm sure there's a bunch of people who really like it. I love the Sphinx. I've seen a lot of people be down on the Sphinx. It's just the existence of Teclis and his placement on that model.
And his trousers.
Okay, get over the trousers.
Tim very like anti-trousers, anti-harem pants. I mean, if I was really that
Looks like a
worried,
genie.
I'd just if I was really worried, I'd just convert the old Teclis to put him on the back. But it's also like,
Beastman it is then, yeah?
yeah, very excited. 90 Young Gore Raiders. It's going to be great. The shooting meta is here. So again, we're just looking at protracted combats.
Yeah, I mean, but you might as well talk about the room because there's nothing really going on that table. Stuff dies, stuff
Any
survives.
from your past around any interesting matchups or turn-outs?
The Skaven
Other
game
than
looks
Gotrek
pretty
and the
good.
Fire Slayers, they've lost their game because there's no way you can win because it's 1913 and they're on the last battle round now, and it will table the big Waaagh player, but that's about it. Gotrek just walked around, smacked everything to death, but he just couldn't get on the objectives because they're dwarves, and shifting objectives, or if it goes the wrong way and you can't move,
Yeah,
that's it.
if you can't get on the objective first.
And that's kind of how sometimes the battle plan balances a game, because 5 says are what, second in match play overall?
Agents,
and then-
you got the thing on the app. Yep, if you've got.
But it's
Oh, yeah, if you just
things
fill out
that
all
go
the
out.
kill points on the back of those with your names, you'll catch up with it.
Looks like the Deepkin Skaven army.
It's a lot
That's
more.
been a series game. There's a lot of dead eels now.
No, that's table 3, isn't it?
That's table 3.
But they've both taken a loss, so that we won't see them at the top table unless everyone draws on these two tables.
Yeah. I think like we were saying earlier when we looked in on that game, a lot of the Skaven being pulled off would have been the turn 3.
Yeah.
The eels fighting first. I think this is more of the retaliation. Be interesting to see how that shakes out. Following some more eels. That's another unit of eels gone.
There's not a lot left now, so what we got left is a couple of eels and the king.
Couple of eels, the Kelly King against a very diminished plague bear. What they call plague monk unit.
And a vermin lord.
Vermin lord. There might be a depleted unit of clan rats on the side.
Yeah, that might be the most brutal game we've got going on, I think.
Yeah, mutually assured destruction.
Yeah.
Big fan of that. Table 5, we've got Moride Neth against Catacross. We've got a couple of more tech crawlers in that list. See how that one shakes out.
It looks like table 2
I think table 2 is wrapped
finished,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how Snash got on against
Shall I go get a sneak
Nagash and
preview?
Petrifex.
Let's go see what the result was.
Simon now looking for any excuse not to talk about Tzeentch versus Bonereapers. Might be Snash, might be Mike.
So next victory.
Win for Snash.
Yeah. So it's like nerf, but it's still hanging around the top tables. Although, like you said before, it's a very different Slaneshness to what you'll be used to seeing.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice list Mike's got.
Godseekers, I assume, he's winning, or
I am not entirely sure. I think perhaps. think a lot of people are going to be put out by the really fast Kipper and then the turn 1 threat from the Seekers.
Yeah, Seekers are actually brilliant. I really do like Seekers. Do we know what the next mission is?
I think that's how he's gonna. I think that's how Mike's won a lot of his games, by penning stuff in and then using the objectives. We'll find out what the. We'll try and get Tim back on and see if we can give you a preview of what the next battle plan is going to be. But for now, we're rolling on the day.
Is it right to take 2 more of these?
Certainly is.
Thank you.
No worries, man.
We do know what the realms are. If I can sort through this pack. So we've got game 5 in the realm of metal. With steel rain. Let's have a look at that. See what that. I have a feeling.
It would have been a lot easier if we just brought a book.
It always would be easier to have books in front of us. Steel Rain. So on a 6-up, pick an enemy unit that isn't in cover. So we're going to see a lot of hiding in cover. Roll dice for each model in that unit, inflict 1 mortal wound for each roll that's less than the save characteristic. Oh, fun. So, what's
That's not going to be great for Sylvaneth, though.
Yeah, what's going to be interesting about the Petrifex list is they get +1 to save rolls, but their save characteristic is still a 4-up.
Oh, of course, so it'll be not modified. So yeah, that's going to be. Consider.
So, a Realmscape feature that's going to punish low armor units. Only on a 6 though, so it is each hero phase getting to roll dice and picking units. So we'll see if it actually comes into any effect.
So it sounds like we're going to have. Well, normally it looks like we're going to have a very grindy Death Army against a very, very mobile Slanesh army.
Yep.
So I guess the missions could really be key on who's going to take this.
Yeah. We do know that if Mike here, this Mike, Bone Mike, and Orgy Mike, as he's been called in the AOS Cup, the Dorset Cup chat, they have played before.
Oh, okay. Similar lists?
Mike's gone. A change from his list is he's dropped one of the Harvesters, and he's got a Liege Cavalos. I'd have to have a look at Mike's list, but I believe it's very similar to what they both played.
And who took it out last game?
Tzeentch.
Yeah.
So Mike Wilson took out that last game. Looks like it may have to be a rematch.
Repitch your pen.
just checking in to actually talk about the game that we're supposed to be covering. It looks like we've pulled the 2 units of horrors in the centre. Doesn't appear there's much hanging on to the rightmost objective, and the left, as we know, is the primary objective. So I think Mike's looking at another 5 points, which
that's clearly going to be game because we're only down to 30 minutes left.
with another 30 minutes to go.
We'll be looking to get through to
Yeah. I think what they'll say is they'll finish off this turn, but with Mike scoring every objective again, that definitely puts it entirely out of reach.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
So not being able to chew through the harvester and in turn those Mortec guards, just missing the middle objective on one model, and then the priority going into turn 2. Just a conflux of things.
Yeah, I think Mike was very relieved the Screamers getting through those little gaps that he left.
Yeah.
Obviously it could have gone very differently, but yeah, I think the whole game's pretty much turned on your atrocious dice.
Yeah.
That you've loaned him.
Oh no, they're not mine. This is all Tim forcing these unfortunate players to use dice that he bought.
Oh, these special top table dice?
Yep.
Oh, okay. He is very thorough.
Oh yeah. Right.
Have you guys put these up in the app?
No, yesterday he was helpful. Today he's just sitting out.
I'll do your app score for you. If you write your 2 points out,
Oh,
and then do it.
so I killed 15-16 and suffered 13-20. Obviously him the other way. Obviously him.
Yeah.
I don't know if that matters.
What was the result?
18-2. So yeah, they hit hard.
Yes.
Bloody
We had a look over, seeing a lot of rats dead. I'm assuming turn 3 was like just.
Around turn 3 I lost like, I don't know, 80 rats.
Yeah.
Then shooting back killed another 9 eels. Combat, yeah, it was GG within 3 pretty much most lost half the army each in like half a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was lucky in the last turn to get the initiative. And then, shooting and charging, then whittled down eels. They kept hitting hard. So I had a total of 4 plague monks and 20 numbers left. And the vermin that's it. So he killed about 150 rats or something. So yeah, that's a rat game. I still can't put anything on.
It's alright, Tim.
So that was a Winton Skaven, yeah?
Yeah, Winter Skaven. So we've only got two people. By the end of this game, we'll have 2 people undefeated.
Yeah.
That'll be our table 1. I think Tim has mentioned he might we'll probably be having to talk about I'd expect having to talk about the final game. Tim was banning about the idea of putting some interesting games on, but I think to kind of round out the event we have to cover the subtables.
Oh, you got a white. Bet you wish you were playing, right? You should have just skived off white yesterday.
The annoying thing is that my trip got postponed by a week on Friday.
What did you say? You could have come in, you could have been playing the whole weekend.
I don't really have plans for this
AOS. I was doing some RPG, so I didn't see what happened with the AOS competition. Did it finish yesterday?
No, we're still
going on.
Where did Henrik get? Is he going to get?
He's going to be table 2.
Yeah, I thought he got through. Did he
No, we haven't done anything
win
yet.
the second or third
I'll stick you on the app. If you
I don't know, at the minute he's 3 on 1.
I think it's there, yeah.
Oh,
I've got
yeah.
it written down here.
If you just copy that over
there,
to
isn't
the
it?
paper with your names on it,
Yeah.
you can just like,
I've got your pen, is that okay? Sorry.
That's absolutely.
Oh, here you go.
no, so what table you want, Peter? think that was. So did you achieve your agenda?
Yes, I did.
You got a major?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you achieve
got mine,
yours?
yeah, I got mine.
18-2 then.
Yeah.
So on that, just need both kill points and then raise kill points from killing heroes.
Yeah.
I do love that trog off hag. Just wandering around.
Does it count as kill points general or not?
No, kill points that you kill from heroes.
Cool. So they're my kill points that I did onto him. That's his onto mine. And I got 90 points for killing heroes.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm winning that.
I might make a little pile there.
Yeah, I got a pile as well. It was excellent.
Sweet. I'll fill out a lunch and then go get everyone else's random ones that they've left off. So, definitely Slanesh on table 1 then.
Definitely Slash, yeah.
At least something will happen there.
Definitely Bonereapers.
Was it? Yeah. What is it? Definitely Bonereapers. They're that far ahead, are they?
Yeah, well, they're 5-0 from the first turn.
So, Mike and Mike
gonna get another
Cup
flag now.
rematch.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying it's very similar list. Bone Mike has made a bit of a change. Dropping the heart stuff for the Cavalites,
But it looks like the odd number back in the farm is playing Henrik. Where is Whoa. I don't know how the thing works.
How's Harry doing?
How's Harry? Oh, he's all the way down here somewhere. He's not as good as Dave. He's not been winding up last night. I actually don't know. Where is he? He's 27th.
How many players is there altogether?
Today, 36.
Oh, he's on the fun tables. Is he playing his fun alt list with all the casting, yeah?
Huh?
He's not playing his 3 more crushers and he's playing...
The better list.
He's playing the fun list.
No, the better list is not 2 more crushes. The better list is more bodies,
Yeah.
more punch, more wounds. Because a lot of the 2 more crushes is boring. Charge, if he annihilates you, it wins. If he
What's
doesn't,
in your list again?
is it three big monsters?
3 bug crushers and a dog.
All they do is
If I had another Incessant Rage, it would be 4 Bloodthirsters,
Yeah.
2 of Incessant Rage. But my Sword Priest did absolutely nothing the whole game. Cast Kill Frenzy once, and the only person in range was the Blood Secretor. It's fantastic.
Your Blood Priest never casts anything.
It's just like that. It's because spells are cheated. Unless you're Tzeentch, then they're okay.
Yeah. Although apparently they never go off, from what I've seen.
Who we got on 3 losses? James apparently now has 4 losses. James Gutteridge, Simon. There's something about the name Simon, doesn't win games.
This is why I don't play, you upset me too much.
You love it. I mean, I love Richie's score. He started so well, 20-0 and then 0-0-0.
Is Andy here? Is Andy playing?
He's in Florida.
Oh, that's nice.
He's refused to play me since his intro game.
Yeah, another.
My best was James getting beasted on the Honest Rule game and then coming away with 2 wins with the world's worst call list.
I actually listened to that.
Where is Dave Cooper?
So I think we're into Tzeentch hero phase. So another long one. Just going to quickly check what the score is.
So actually, they're both on the same scores, but Harry ranks slightly higher than him. It's 22-0.
I'll ring you a quid or later. Yep. So 10-0, yeah.
Bonereapers managed to take every objective again. So assuming
give a 25-minute warning and then cut around.
You had a chance to walk around the rest of the exhibition?
Yeah, I had a walk around yesterday. Bought dice because dice were available. Yes, pretty good turnout. Some interesting things going on. A lot of games going on. I had to check in with Malifaux. Big fan of that.
Oh yes, good. There you go. I haven't got a Brazilian, but almost.
Anything else on the coffee?
Yes, please.
Right?
Yes, please.
Good. You drink Monster hot cakes. Same by all means, isn't it?
It's fine. If I drink enough Monster, I'll get over being tired and just vibrate through the floor.
I was alright, but I need a coffee after this game.
Yeah.
I've noticed a distinct lack of flesh eaters. Where are my flesh eater armies?
Is it? Oh, there was you missed them. Mclean's unfortunately had to drop out. But is he running? No, he was running Tzeentch. No, I think it's only one flesh eaters. Rich is the only flesh eaters.
Yeah? Where is he? Mid-table. He must be mid-table.
Somewhere mid-table, bottom tables. Yeah. Yeah, he's been a bit unfortunate to take his no Rend Flesh Eater Courts, no Terror Guys, no Zombie Dragons into some Bonereapers.
Flesh Eater Courts with no Terror Guys?
Yeah. He's got 18 horrors.
Oh, I do love horrors. I've got a Bomber 9 horrors, but I've also got a Terror Guys and a Zombie Dragon, because I'm not crazy.
It's the old Ritualist special. Pick 2 units and only have those units in your army, and then heroes.
Yeah. To be fair, horrors, if you buff them up, can be absolutely brutal. If you get the extra 3 attacks and rerolls. But, yeah, you're certainly going to be missing Terror Guys. Well, at least we've got some decent endless spells up and running now.
Yep.
So what we got there? We've got the Purple Sun, the Maw, which I love,
Jaws.
and the Pendulum, is that?
The Pendulum, yep.
So we could see a lot of damage here. Maybe this is like a revenge
Yes.
thing. This is, we'll see what Tzeentch can do in the magic phase.
Measuring out yet more endless spells.
Let's go down this time.
Here comes the Demon Rift.
If the commentators always works.
Thank you, my friend.
What one does not like for free press and everything. Is that my magic?
This is the start of turn 2. It's just 2 long armies.
Rolling dice.
It's just been a grind.
They've got another 45 minutes to go.
20 minutes. This will be the end last turn. 20 minutes.
Then there's some more agree on kind of who would have won a 5-turn game, yeah. What's going to happen this week?
Okay.
It's a lot of shit to do. So
A lot of spells, a lot of hero phase. It's a long game.
How's the rest of the tournament doing?
We're running out of things to say, Henrik, so why don't you come and sit and tell us how your tournament's gone? We're online, so come and tell us how your games have gone.
Some fun, tight, tough games. Good to see different players. Good to see different armies I've never played against. Never encountered the eels by you, but not like a pure eel all over the
Not
place.
played by a good player.
No, but like just 100 eels coming from all over the place.
That's the real Deepkin army.
The mighty Boosh list.
Yeah, I've not come across like mono-model armies of eel only, art boys only, and nothing else. Okay.
What did you lose to?
Art boys.
Art boys, yeah.
Swamped by a gazillion of them, and anything I killed just came back. So this is this Art Fist battalion. There's no way I can get to his shaman, kind of hides at the opposite of the map behind a big tall building.
What else have you played? So you played Deepkin.
Deepkin, Reapers in the first game, which was a really fun game again. The fellow over there, really nice guy.
Casperos.
Really, really nice guy. What was the third one?
It was so long ago.
That was really bad, isn't it? Okay, that's what the up is for, where you can look up and
look back. And am I right thinking that this is the last tournament we're going to see the rats at for a while?
Depends on my painting speed. Quite possibly, yes.
Are you in Salisbury in March?
Going to South. August, the second one. Slaves I'm currently painting up. Still need to try to find if they're actually a viable army at all. But I'm a bit fed up of rats. If I don't manage to get them finished painted, then I may have to do one more. But yeah, as quickly as can see the end of the rats as a did there. I've played them now for a year or something, pretty much with an almost unchanged army.
You've played them since our group started, really, haven't you? It's always been this game, hasn't it?
Started off with Nighthaunt.
Yeah.
I went then to Silvernet. This was all pretty much based on what old models did I have. So Nighthaunt, I liked the models, and then kind of discovered the game and didn't even know that they killed the old world. And kind of went into Loft and found old Warhammer Fantasy models from like 15 years ago. And look what that. So there was a whole pile of Wood Elves, Reed Dryads, so hence Silvernet next. Given that I play with Tim's Corn, to play magic heavy army who needs magic against the ultimate anti-magic just didn't go too well.
Don't put me off Silvernet, fan. They're my project army this year.
They're great fun. They're really nice to play.
So much.
And so they're 3/4 painted.
I'm actually really going to paint them as well. I'm not going to spray them and whack contrast on. I've watched videos.
They're really
I've even put paint on a palette instead of out of the pot. I'm going painting.
What is this?
2 thin coats. I'm on it. They're going to look incredible.
2 contrast paints, yeah.
2 very thin.
The problem is you need to know the army well to play it well. It's a more trickery army. The charge, kill, just doesn't work. They're too fragile for that.
I can't lie. I just saw the Ariel model and I went, yeah, that's the one.
But you need to know, well, there's so many, again, permutations of how to, and working together here and there, but they're quite brittle.
Yes.
So you need to know the army well, when to charge, when to run.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it, but yeah, so they're my.
I've suffered my most horrendous defeats within literally turn 2 tables. Thank you very much. Kind of, if you have like a Tyrant's triple hit, there's just a lot of twigs left, and they're all spread all over the floor. That's kind of it. Yeah. But they're fun to play.
That's the main thing.
And so like rats came third again by virtue of having found still about 150 of them on square model basis, and then I still hate Tim. An entire weekend of my life, which I will not get back, when I had to rebase 150 rats, kind of from square to round, and paint them all afterwards. Kind of, it was so destroying, but it was fun. So slaves and I guess I'd probably Silvernet. I have to get them out at some point again. The new book I haven't properly explored. I played again once or twice and got double stomped by a double hitting tyrant. What's the point list? But kind of just simply try them against others and how they fare.
I think they look fun.
So this is me now for the next, 12, 18 months. I just need to finish another army painted. Yeah. Like I'm fed up with 3/4 painted army, but I'm still scared of painting big models, because you can really see what you're doing or what you're not doing.
I think we've just conceded
Yeah, I think we've basically established that they're not going to get through another turn. We've had the handshake. Thank you, Hedrick. Sorry to cut you off.
Thank you for the filler.
We're supposed to be here talking about this game, and I suppose we should talk about it.
It's Adam v Zach. So Zach killed 1670. And Adam killed whatever I wrote on that piece of paper, 500 points of heroes he cared about. Cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so that's finished 10-0, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look like any points got scored for Tzeentch. If we're calling time on it, Mike will have his secondary for Dominate. Very easy to get when you're going first. And Matt was looking to hold the centre at the end of the game, which obviously with the scoreline it's not achieved, so that's a 20-0 for Mike.
Like we say, I think they swung really on that first turn with the first combat really bluffing for Tzeentch.
I think
and then really not having enough punch to get through anything else.
I definitely think we could have seen a big change if the halves
Some points for you.
Do us one around on the back.
Right, cool.
Let's go. So
if the harvester goes down, if some of the if we had a bit more luck with the endless spells, I think it could have been a bit more of a game. And like I said, we one model off pulling the centre objective. I think a couple rolls going either way could have really swung that. It's very like Bonereapers as a list. It's very difficult to pull models away from objectives, but Tzeentch having the ability to put a bunch more models down, it's could have been a lot closer than it was, and I think it was just unfortunate a few dice rolls went a certain way.
So final round then, we're going to be looking at Bonereapers and Tzeentch. Tzeentch, a lot more manoeuvrable, punch a lot harder.
A lot of it will be dependent on the scenario. Wherever the objectives are going to be put, how much the Bonereapers can defend. I think we're going to get to see a lot of Tzeentch's speed utilised.
Cool. Well, it sounds like that might be an interesting game, so I guess we'll call this one. And then
I think that's it.
The next game up.
Thank you for hanging out, talking about a game.
No problem. Talk about many other things really, but whatever.
All right,
cool.
See you for the next game.
Oh, there we go. Because I'm older, it says 420.
And then did you kill any heroes?